Ladies and gentlemen, I want to read you a Yahoo Finance article. Elon Musk suggested firing workers and working with influencers to boost Twitter's bottom line, reports. This is a Yahoo Finance article, and Business Insider, Elon Musk ruthlessly cleaned house of any Tesla workers who disagreed or got in his way, a new book says. Well, that's what Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or Bezos or anyone would do. That's what any mom and pop business would do if they hired somebody as a waitress or a waiter, or anyone who had a small corporation, if they hired somebody who was an attorney or an accountant, or anybody that was employed to do a specific job that wasn't doing their job. Anyone in a position like running a company would fire that individual or let that individual go. If you look at the latest New York Post article, there's a quote that is talking about, I quote, "I mean, we successfully deplatformed Trump. I don't think deplatforming," and then there's this conservative account that they're really going after without any help or support from Twitter right now. That's going to change with Elon Musk taking over the company, but it's going to cause a mass exodus. But I guess it may not be in our fiduciary interest to enact a ban on a high-profile account right now. These people have utilized social media algorithms to silence any opposition. You had clear criminal violations by Hunter. Their emails, his emails are like a treasure trove of legal statutes broken. You cannot negotiate meetings with corrupt or shady business people alongside the vice president of the country, and then have the vice president lie and deny those meetings ever occurred, and then we find out those meetings actually did occur, and Vice President Joe and Mashed Potato Brains, our current president, now he lied about those meetings. And they met, according to one New York Post article, 19 times in the White House and other government buildings. Hunter negotiated meetings, at least one or two with his father. There are emails where the business associates paying Hunter from a country now being invaded under the watch of Democrats, geopolitical nightmare in Europe, stated, well, gee, thanks for helping us meet your father. It was an honor. How can you use, this is a key email, how can you use your influence on the company's behalf? Could you imagine if Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. had emails? How can you use your influence on our company's behalf? Everyone would be suspicious, and they would say it's a clear violation of the law. But see, that doesn't work that way, because you have Twitter silencing, suppressing any dialogue or discourse about corruption within the Democratic Party. They're also very, very happy that they deplatformed Trump. We see in the private messages that were leaked in the New York Post and other publications talking about it. It should be enough for Democrats or people on the left or advocates on the left to just simply have their ideas win the day. Their ideas, their philosophy, their policies should speak for themselves, but they need to intimidate. You saw that with Kavanaugh. You see Twitter profiles putting Kavanaugh's residence online, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, what are they doing? That's what you need the FBI for left-leaning organizations that actually work to intimidate. Like, it's not just like they're going after a conservative profile that talked about taxpayer dollars, funding a certain activity the conservative profile didn't like. And then Media Matters, they said, well, then 8 crazy people, went and protested or broke into a facility, or I forgot exactly what the message was. You can read it. It's in the New York Post. That profile didn't say anything about what anyone else should do. That profile was saying, hey, this is a taxpayer-funded activity. It shouldn't be a taxpayer-funded activity. End of story. It wasn't a call to action. It's interesting that Media Matters and others, you have an organization that actually lists the residence of conservative Supreme Court justices And then you have an armed man broke many laws from a blue state. Gee, how did he get the? Oh, that's right, because criminals don't care. Armed man from a blue state, or basically his plot or his efforts to end the life of a conservative Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, that those efforts were foiled. They say, well, he called the police on himself. Okay, if the roles were reversed, that organization that on Twitter went and said, okay, here's where all these conservatives reside. That was a call. That would have been a call to action, deliberate call to action to harass, intimidate, and God forbid potentially do more. That's why we need the FBI, not to get involved in investigating an incoming presidential candidate or an incoming president, Trump, and investigate based on absurd allegations by Clinton and Democrats and his direct political rivals based on a Steele dossier and other issues. Okay? So that's why the Second Amendment, I always say, like, when I had a threat on my life on Twitter, it was from a fake profile, the same fake profiles that are trying to torment others. I went to the police department. The police department actually allowed me to file a police report on a fake Twitter profile, and the police officer said, hey, Second Amendment. And I said, okay. And the police officer told me, protect yourself with the Second Amendment. Okay? Basically, in those, not exactly in those words, but protect yourself with the Second Amendment of the Constitution. And which is what the Supreme Court justices, anyone left or right, if they feel that their lives are at risk, should protect themselves with the Second Amendment. It's there. It's your right as an American citizen. And so this way, if, God forbid, somebody wants to do you harm, the Second Amendment is there to protect yourself and your family. It's within the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. It's there to protect you. It's not there to harm or for deranged maniacs and criminals to end the most innocent, lives and the most precious and cherished lives we have. It's there for those criminals and those maniacs to meet reciprocal force immediately before they harm anyone. That's what the Second Amendment is there for. But, I mean, the thing is like, you have a situation where Democrats need every single possible advantage. Jimmy Kimmel is a Democratic operative. Saturday Night Live works for the Democratic Party. Social media algorithms, all of Hollywood, music industry, corporations, if they don't have absolute groupthink, and they're going to get completely obliterated in the House and Senate. And Elon Musk is taking Twitter away from them. Twitter was the most important advantage they had from a social media perspective. They got to also influence social media algorithms on other platforms as well. They don't have Twitter anymore. Now, Elon Musk is going to fire all the people that went after Trump. I don't want these people to suffer economically, because I don't say this gleefully. But the political landscape is going to change. Okay, the political landscape is going to change. And again, it's interesting. You have, the reason I bring up Media Matters is because they were quoted. It was a tweet, oh my gosh, this Twitter profile is going to get people's life. Then I urge everyone, left, right, any group, any marginalized group on the left, anyone the left considers a marginalized group, everyone on the planet. I wrote, when I was at the Huffington Post on the left, every group in America should utilize the Bill of Rights, okay, and the rights that we have as American citizens to protect themselves, okay, because that is true empowerment, when you utilize the Constitution to protect yourself. And whereas Democrats would like to erase not only the Second, but the First Amendment, they don't want you talking words, and also protecting yourself is a big problem for the Democratic Party. So as they want to defund police, which is also, they're all over the place. They want to combat climate change and then flood the country with strategic oil reserves. They're all over the place. Okay, in fact, it's the oil company's fault. That's what inflation's all about. Not. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. I explain why the policies of Mashed Potato Brains Joe, I explain why his policies and the policies of Democrats have collapsed this economy. The stock market will continue to collapse. Go to the stock market crash channel, the Bitcoin crash channel right now. I predicted all of that in September of 2021. Go to the description section right now, right this second. Go and see. I was right. I told everyone this would happen. It's only going to get worse. Elon Musk is going to clean house, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a different political landscape, especially in November. Hit subscribe right now.